Hi guys, so in today's tutorial I'll be teaching you how to make a collar with a collar stand. So first of all, I have a gum stand folded into two, which is also going to serve as my pattern. I'm going to draw a straight line marking my starting point for this collar. First of all, we are starting with the collar stand. So the collar I'm working with is 17.2 inches in length. So that folded into two is 8.6 inches. So I went ahead to mark an 8.6 inches on the width of the line that I've already drew, which is the starting point. So, and then this collar stand is going to be 1 inch in length. So I'm making a mark for that 1 inch, and after which I am going to draw a straight line to join it together. Now, after joining it together using a straight line, I am going to curve the pointed the side of the collar, the side that is folded into, not the side unfold, the side that is splitted into two, so that it doesn't have a sharp edge. So I'm going to make a curve a little. Now for the collar, we are going to come in from the collar stand. We are going to come in by 1 inch, and then the collar is going to be 2 inches in height. So it's going to be 2 inches in height. Now the starting point of the collar is going to be 2 inches in height. While the other side of the collar, which the side on the fold, is going to be 1.5 inch in height. So I'm going to mark that 1.5 inch, and then I'm going to join this using a slanted straight line. Remember that the starting point of the collar is 2 inches, while the folded edge is 1.5 inch in height. So I am going to mark that and also join it using a straight line. Now, after joining that using a straight line, at the edge of the collar, the 2 inches part, I am going to come out again by 1/2 inch. This is in order to make a triangular shaped, that sharp edge that you usually see in a collar, the triangular edge. So I'm going to come out by 1/2 inch, and then join that 1/2 inch part to the part where the collar started with a straight line. So it will give us that sharp triangular edge. Now that's it for the collar. We are done making the collar. The next thing to do is to cut it out. Now I'll advise you watch closely so that you see the part that I'm actually cutting out. So I've gone ahead to cut out the collar stand. The next thing to do is to cut out the collar itself. So I've cut out both the collar and the collar stand, and this is what it looks like after cutting it out. So guys, I've gone ahead to cut out the collar stand and the collar. I cut out 2 pieces of each of the collars, right sides facing each other. I also went ahead to give a sewing allowance of 1/2 inch around both the collar and the collar stand. So guys, right now I'm gonna go ahead to stitch up the collar. The 1/2 inch sewing allowance I gave before, I'm going to stitch up both sides and also the top part of it, and then I'll be flipping it inside out. I'll be leaving the bottom part of it open so that I'll be able to flip it inside out. So guys, I've gone ahead to sew the collar, and then I flipped it inside out and also ironed it down. So I pressed it so that everything will be ironed down and smooth and will be easier to work with. So this is what the collar and the inside of the collar looks like after stitching it down and ironing it. So guys, next thing I'm going to do is take the upper collar that I've already stitched down and ironed. I'm going to fold it into two and get the center of it, where I'm going to make a notch to mark the center. So now that I've notched the center of the collar, I'm also going to take the collar stand and I am going to fold it into two, and I'll be notching the center. On the collar stand, I'll be notching the center both on the up part and the lower part of it because it is needed. Honestly speaking, guys, I did make the notch on the collar stand, but then for some reason the video did not capture when I was making the notch, and you can't really see the notch on the collar stand here, but trust me, I did make that notch. So make sure you make the notch both up and down of the collar stand because it is important. So guys, next thing I'm going to do is bring one part of the collar stand, the part that does not have the gum stain on it. So after bringing that, setting that, I'm also going to bring the collar and place it on the collar stand, and then bring the other part of the collar stand and place it. Notice that I make sure that the places where the centers where I notched matched. So after doing that, I am going to sew it in the size and then flip it inside out. So guys, I've gone ahead to attach the collar to the collar stand. I flipped it inside out and also ironed it down. So this is what the collar looks like after being attached to the collar stand. So the next thing to do right now is to attach our collar and collar stand to our shirts. So guys, in order to attach our collar to the neck of our shirt, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to bring the neck, the shirt, and fold the neck of the shirt and make a notch at the center of the neck of the shirt. After which I am going to then bring the collar of the collar that we already made. I am going to remember that we made a notch on the collar stand initially before we attach it to the collar. So what I'm going to do is that I am going to bring the collar that has been joined together. Now the part of the collar that has a gum stain on it, that is the part that will be attached first on the shirt. So I'm going to take the part where I made the notch on the collar and then attach it to the center of the neck of the shirt where I also made the notch. I'm going to pin it down round and also sew it down first. One side of the collar will be sewed to the shirt first. Remember, the side that has the gum stain, that is the part that will be sewed directly on the shirts, while the other part of the collar stand that doesn't have a gum stain will now be used to fold the neck of the shirt in so that it will be very neat. So guys, what I'm going to do now is fold in the rough edges of the collar that I stitched in. I'm going to fold it in, then take the other part of the collar stand which I didn't sew in that time, so I'm going to use that and cover those rough edges. I'm going to pin it round and then stitch it round. So just watch the way I'm pinning it round. I advise you pin this round first. Pin it round first before you start sewing. Even if you're a professional, pins are very important when it comes to sewing. You need your pins. It helps you pin down a lot of things before you stitch it down, so you can actually see what you are doing and also avoid lots and lots of mistakes. So I'm pinning everything down. After pinning that in, I'm now going to stitch it round. So guys, this is what the collar looks like after I've pinned it down. So I'm going to stitch this collar in finally to the shirts. The part I'm going to stitch in is this part that I have pinned down, so I'm going to stitch it in. After stitching the collar in, I'm also going to top stitch the whole collar around and iron it down, and that will be it for the collar of this shirt. So guys, this is what the collar looks like after I stitched it, and I also went ahead to top stitch the whole collar around and also iron it down so that everything stays neat and pretty. So guys, that's it for this whole collar. So guys, if you loved this video, make sure that you like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.